Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast, and we are back in action. Hope everybody had a nice little break. We're coming to you with a one-game slate here to welcome us back nice and easy. So we'll ease into things here with Hornets and Lakers. We're going to be throwing best bets, couple of looks here, and just help you guys out as we're still waiting on most of the injury news. It is Tuesday night as we record this, so getting ahead of some of the early stuff here, and then there will be some news to monitor tomorrow, obviously. We also do have a separate episode up with some futures looks at this point in the season for you guys. About 28-ish games left for most of these teams, so we took a look at how you can still get some value on these futures bets moving forward the rest of this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your looks here for Hornets and Lakers. Like I said, still waiting on the injury report.
Yeah, but I think LaMelo Ball is going to play here, so I'll take the Hornets to get to 105. Both teams 105 is about even money. I mean, the Hornets team total is only 1 point higher than that. If you do lose this look, I mean, that's what DraftKings offers, in the terms of the both teams market, the team props market. But I mean, if LaMelo goes, there's just massive splits since the start of January, since the Hornets have become a team that really depends on him, with no Brandon Miller and now no Mark Williams in some sort of weird purgatory. But I mean, they're averaging 113 with him in 9 games, playing at a pace 3.5 possessions faster, hitting 4 more threes at a 9% higher clip. And I know we've disparaged him a little bit in terms of I don't know what he really does, but when you're this shorthanded, he can just be your offense. And I mean, don't forget Chino Hill's kid going back to LA kind of missed the last game because he hurt his ankle. And there is some concern that maybe, he still has lingering ankle soreness, but he hasn't really played a game in 11 days. And I think he'll be motivating that one. And I mean, the Lakers defense is just going to be exploitable regardless, right? I mean, we don't know. I would expect Luka or LeBron to sit here on the front end of a back-to-back, but if in the Luka, Bron, AR 3-man lineup, they're playing damn fast, 108 pace, and putting up buckets for sure, as you would expect with those creators. But the defense is still quite vulnerable. Luka has an individual 126 defensive rating. They don't have AD to clean things up on the back line, and they're going to be in trouble if Jackson Hayes is not able to go. We'll see if he can plays with the face protector, right? Because if he's out, Alex Len is a fucking telephone pole. He's just out there as a traffic cone for people in modern NBA to just run around and score on. So I think based on who the Lakers might not have, you could definitely find some good props like Nick Smith, LaMelo, of course, and just the Hornets to keep pace to a degree, as the Lakers, of course, are going to be able to score as long as they have either Luka or LeBron. They're going to have a pretty high-powered offense.
Yeah, for sure. You talk about sort of AD's presence and what he's able to do when he was there, really making up for the fact that there's no above the break defense. And now he's gone and we're relying on Jackson Hayes. And to be honest, if Mark Williams was out there, if he was out there for the Lakers, since he will be playing in this game, if he plays, but if he was going to play for the Lakers, it was only going to be more of welcome to the rim sort of defense once guys got into the lane. We saw that in the last game with Collier, Keontae George, the one they just lost to the Jazz. Luka didn't play the fourth quarter, but they were down double digits going into that fourth quarter, and that helped make the decision very easy to just keep him under 25 minutes in that one. So yeah, I think this one is Charlotte's been better on defense, and I'm going to talk about that here with my play. They've been better on defense, and they play slow as hell. But this Lakers team is just going to turn into an insane over continuously moving forward. They're going to drag a lot of other teams up with them with what they have at their disposal on defense. The way they just got worse, which we'll keep talking about, I'm sure. So I like in this one, I like where you're at because it's a low total. It's the 224.5 total, and you're getting this game needs to get to basically 210, and you can still hit your bet, right? So I'm good with that. And then Charlotte plus 13.5. I'm going to take it. I consider this or the under 224.5. But yeah, I'm scared of taking any kind of defense minded props when we're talking about the Lakers as I'm talking about them that way. But when we talk about Charlotte plus 13.5, like they have been a slow it down, grind it out team that's played in plenty of games under 200 actually in their last like 10 in terms of the totals a couple times. Obviously, they're playing teams like the Magic and teams of that ilk that it's going to be complete opposites here with the Lakers. They are going to be playing a lot faster, but we're still going to see, as much as LaMelo Ball and the Hornets have historically been a fast-paced, just go up and down, play like the Wizards kind of team, that ain't them this year with Lee at the helm, right? They're playing a lot more almost Boston-esque defense in some ways, where they're at least not switching. They're really hard to score off the spot up. You can beat them one-on-one, which is obviously how guys like Luka and LeBron are going to be able to get points against them. But I still think the fact that they've been limiting free throws and limiting stuff above the break, their guard defense and their wing defense has been carrying them pretty well with a lack of interior guys like Moussa Diabate starting. Now we're going to see some use of Nurkic here and there when he finally gets on the floor. There's not going to be too much rim protection necessarily, but the wing defense has been good enough to keep most guys out of the paint with pretty good frequency there. And you look at the rebounding for them as well. That is something that that's the one thing that you worry about is like the offensive rebounding of the other team. And I'm not seeing, I mean, Jackson Hayes will be crashing those boards, but like that's not Luka's game. LeBron, as much as he's going to be, if he's out there, I mean, yes, he can crash the offensive boards. That would be the one guy I'm worried about, but it's not like they've been getting a ton off second chance points. And this team has been limiting second chance points really well, especially over the last 10. They are in the top 10 in limiting second chance points. They're fifth in limiting free throw attempts as well. Their free throw attempt rate of the other team, they're fifth best limiting that, which is something that guys like Luka and LeBron definitely, and even to a degree, Austin Reeves, both all rely on for their points. So I think they'll be able to limit them. I don't know that they're going to be scoring 110 here, but I think 105 is reasonable, especially if Mark Williams is a go. We'll see if that's the case. Hopefully so. But yeah, 13.5 is too many points for this new look Lakers.
Yeah, if Mark Williams is playing, that's definitely a bump in the right direction for the over. Dalton Connect and him both have like something weird to prove, I guess, and they are both just offense first guys with no defense. So yeah, again, it's like puzzle pieces to see who's playing. But I would definitely lean to the under depending on who's out. I mean, certainly if LaMelo's out, like fire immediately because of the way the Hornets play. Because if it is just a Luka-centric offense, that's going to be a lot slower for the Lakers. But either way, I think the Hornets, again, with LaMelo, can cover this for sure. I mean, without him, they can as well, because the Lakers could just be completely disjointed like the last time we saw them. And it would be very important for them to get Jackson Hayes in there and get some rim protection. If not, then definitely fire on this Hornets team. But yeah, front end of a back-to-back again. Got to reiterate, Lakers at Portland on Thursday. That's a bit more of a tough spot. So we'll see who rests themselves ahead of that one.
A good Portland Trailblazers team. You're right. That's going to be I'll say a much more difficult task than this one. And we are getting news as we're reporting. Diabate is likely going to play. He's not on the injury report. Mark Williams is probable. It was just conditioning for him. Probably also some like, hey, welcome back. Sorry that we traded you kind of weirdness that they're getting over as well. So that was part of his injury report. But now I think he's good and LaMelo is probable as well. So everything looking up for that. Luka said that, like we said, JJ said Luka's not on a minutes restriction now as well. So it seems like if one of them is going to miss, it would be LeBron in this game, who's questionable. And this news about Luka seems like it comes in tandem with him playing. So we'll see how that goes, but definitely stay on those injury reports, mostly for the Lake show now, as the Hornets seem like they're going to have most of their guys. So that's all the time we have for you in our one game slate here for Wednesday. We're back on Thursday with a bunch more action, and obviously every weekday moving forward with both player props and best bets. And like I said, don't miss out on the futures looks as well, as we're going to get some good numbers and some value here as we get back from the break. So best of luck with everything else until we see you next. Happy betting.